feet of metal hose that I am holding with one arm right now. We have 2 color choices that are available for you in the 100-foot. We have the blue, and that's gonna be the nozzle, which is a very special nozzle we'll talk about, and we also have it in the black. So with that, our guest expert when it comes to very clever ideas, I mentioned Peter Kokolin, that this has been our #1 top selling hose. And why, and how is it different from the traditional green old, same old, same old?
There's a lot of differences. I mean, those hoses can be great, except for all the hassles associated with them. So they're gonna puncture, they're gonna tear, and this is the one I know that you're all gonna be familiar with. It's going to kink. Do you remember? So I brought a little piece of green hose so you can see that.
Yes.
So you remember this? As soon as your green hose does that,
you're out of luck.
Right, it never goes away. It always remembers. So every time you pick it up, it's gonna kink, so then you're not gonna have that water flow. They're heavy, they're hard to coil up. This happens, you don't like it. You go past the rose bushes or the fence, and before you know it, it has a puncture. What if you could get rid of all those? Sorry guys, I'll go down here and I'll show you. This is puncture resistant, it's gonna be corrosion resistant, it's gonna be lighter, it's gonna be stronger. This is going to be, what's so cool about it is, you're finally gonna be able to have 100 feet of hose because it's not so unruly, so unmanageable. It weighs 15 pounds. It's never going to kink.
It's the
easy.
last hose you're gonna need, Peter.
I think so. It is so, I mean, it's just, it takes all the hassle out of using a hose because it is so simple to use. And then it's not meant for just one season or one summer, right? This is going to be something you're gonna have for years and years because it's stronger, because it's easier to use. You're gonna love it. So we have a lot of cool things to show you about this hose.
We sure do, and one of the things I was reading, there's close to 100 reviews on here, was the power and the pressure that you get out of this hose that they never knew they thought would, you know, they had before.
Right, because there's been a lot of, you could say, new technologies, right, in hoses. We've tried all kinds of different hoses. They were supposed to be lighter, maybe they were gonna be stronger, but if you wanna have the best of all of those worlds, this steel hose, metal hose from Belmont Garden is amazing. There you can see how strong it is. It's crazy. There you can see that you're getting that full volume of water. Yeah. You're getting that pressure. We're including that nozzle as well. So I wanted to show you this, Lynn. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, this would be normally an absolute, forget it, throw it out. We
have over 60 knots in this length of hose, 60 knots. And you imagine putting 60 knots into your rubber hose, that green hose. But what's so cool about this is with the 60 knots in there, I'm still working. I still got full water flow. That is amazing. 60 knots in there. So it really is almost impossible to kink this hose, to get it to stop that water flow.
If it was gonna kink, it would be kinked right now.
Because this is really as tight as it goes. I mean, you can't get a kink in this hose, which I think is so great. Look at that, that's as much as it goes. It's not ever gonna bend into those little creases I was showing you with the other hose. So it is a fantastic hose, over 60 knots in it. So it won't kink, it's UV resistant. This is also so strong. Lynn, let's show everyone what we have here.
Okay.
We have a little torture chamber.
Oh boy.
Or a couple of different ways to torture our hose because it is really so strong.
I don't want to be touching that.
This is so serious that I'm putting on gloves, Lynn.
No.
I know.
Are you gonna put goggles on too?
No goggles, just gloves. Because we have this fence post of death. So again, we have barbed wire and screws and nails in there. And I wanted to show you, if you're dragging the hose around the yard, and this is the kind of thing that can happen. I mean, look at what I can do to this hose.
Yeah.
And it's not going to, not only is it not gonna kink, but it's not gonna puncture, it's not gonna rip, it's not gonna tear. So, and by the way, there's water flowing through this right now.
You're kidding me.
Isn't that cool? Yeah.
That
but
is
I want to
so
keep
cool.
going. I get to take my gloves off. Just wanted to be safe around that barbed wire.
Safe, yes.
So the hose is going to continue from the fence post of death to Lynn, jaws of death.
Whoa.
That's right, jaws of death. Look at that, it's crazy. So we have this bed of nails. There's nails on both sides. We have the hose going through there. Same thing, the hose is going through. It's not going to puncture. And I wanted to show you this. This is pretty extreme. I wanted to show you with these scissors. Now, I have these scissors here. I'm not really clamping down on them really hard because the first time I did that, the scissor snapped in half and the one piece of the scissor went flying.
Are you kidding?
So now I just show you that you can't cut it, but you could cut that regular hose, but that is exactly what happened. So I was a little nervous about doing it again.
What's really crazy is that you're telling me there's still, well,
Listen
That's
to
the
that.
same hose.
Exactly. That is through the fence post of death, through that bed of nails. I mean, look at that, and you get that power. And I want you to see that we're including that spray nozzle. And here's a great thing about the spray nozzle. If you want that really light spray, you've got it for those plants and flowers. But then when we want to really get all that power, listen to that. You've got that jet force. So again, plenty of volume of water. It's fantastic
You don't
hose.
have to go out and buy a special nozzle to be able to get that, you know, the force, or to be able to change the different levels of spray that you're looking for.
But
comes with it.
Yes, but it is all standard, so it'll hook up to your standard, you know, faucet on the outside of your house.
Okay.
If you have a sprinkler, if you have a favorite spray nozzle that you want to use, it's all going to fit. So that's good as well.
So one of the options that we're showing right now is the 100 feet. That
Right.
You're never going to run out of a hose. I can promise you that.
Exactly.
It's normally our most popular. But if I want to store that, right, is it going to go ahead and go on a traditional roll-up storage?
It'll definitely do that. Do you want to do that now?
Well, I don't know. Am I going?
Let's do that.
I've never done this with you. I have a million questions.
No,
but
because I
love
want
this
everyone to
hose.
see that. Because if someone
Okay.
had, you know, like I did, a 50 feet of that rubber hose, that green hose, it's really hard to get that onto
And
a
then-
hose reel.
And that's when it starts twisting.
Right. And then, so right now, I have the hose in my backyard. You know my wife, Debbie.
Yeah.
We're keeping it in a flower pot. So a larger flower pot, and you just
Just kind of spiral
drop it in there. It
Yeah.
takes seconds. I love it. But if you have a traditional hose reel, this is going to be great as well. So here, I can show you just rolling this up. I don't want this to move. There we go. So I'm going to roll this up. Now, I'm going to put 100 feet of hose on here in just a few seconds because it is so simple to do that
And
you are going to love this.
That even if it's in 100% even, it doesn't matter.
No, it really doesn't because it fits. It is so simple to do. And honestly, this is the worst job. I leave the hose out more times than not.
yeah.
When I had the rubber hose, I'm like, I'm not doing that. It is such a hassle. So there's 100 feet. But Lynn, because you're here today,
Okay.
here's what we should do. Let's hook this up. Another 100 feet of hose, and we're going to put it on this hose reel as well. So we'll hook that up.
Are you going to
We'll
put
go-
it
Yeah, let's put it on.
Whoa, all right.
Exactly, an entire another 100 feet of hose on the same hose reel. But look how quickly it does it. And it fits too, which is great. And look at that, it was even bringing a little tangle up and it
Yes.
just untangles itself as it's coming towards me. Are we almost there? Lynn, look how quickly
200.
You would never dream of
In a million
200
years.
feet of hose on an
Wow.
ordinary hose reel. It's just too much. It's too much to handle. But finally you can. Oh, I want to show you real quick. Here's my other favorite part. Look at it coming off the reel. Off the reel
Never
is a
twisting,
dream. No, it's
not
just so lightweight.
knotting.
It's so easy. You are going to love using this hose.
That's the thing I was amazed at when you said, Lynn, I want you to hold this. I was like, oh my, that's 100 feet of metal hose.
I
And-
believe it's 15 pounds.
Wow, for 100 feet. Here's the thing, we're showing you now because you're choosing color for the nozzle choice. So you
Right.
have the blue or the black in the 100 foot, and that's what's enabling you to do all the different speeds of water flow, correct? Because of the unique nozzle that comes with it.
Exactly. The nozzle's fully adjustable, makes it super easy. But you know what? I know that so many people have been using their hose already through the summer, and it's annoying because it doesn't work that well. Maybe you don't get the water flow that you want. Maybe it's just a matter of trying to coil it up. Coiling this up in your hand is super easy. You know, dragging this around the driveway and around the yard is just so super easy that you're gonna love using this hose. And then it's not going to kink. Then it's not going to
Right.
break. It's not going to puncture. It's also going to be something that's going to be UV resistant. So there's a lot of other technologies and other new hoses that just didn't make it in the sun.
Right,
And where
right.
else is your hose but in the sun, right?
And that's the truth.
So
yeah.
this makes
they
it
get
easy.
corroded, they rust, or other
Exactly.
ones. And there are other competitors out there.
You know what? You're absolutely right. Let's go. Let me show you that exactly. Because remember, this is 304 stainless steel. So stainless, so it is UV resistant, but corrosion resistant. You know, you look at these hoses, and there's metal hoses out there, and they really look the same. Or this one was a nice shiny hose at the beginning, but it's not the same stainless steel. So this stainless steel, this is ours, 304 stainless steel, corrosion resistant, along with kink resistant and puncture resistant. But one of the other things, and I want to go over here and show you this, when you see the shiny hose and you're thinking they're all the same, we've been talking about that volume that you get from the hose.
Right.
So that means when you're filling the kiddie pool or you're watering your plants, if you get more flow, you're going to get things done a lot quicker. So we've got two different containers here and two different hoses. This is our hose with the orange ball, and then this is another one. And you can see at the top, They look very similar, but they're not. Because when I turn on this water, just like that, we're gonna see the type of volume that we get that fills up these 2 containers. There you can see it already.
Already,
Here's our hose
yes.
already starting to surpass that other hose. That's what's important. You wanna have full volume, full flow of that water, or it's really not worth it. So maybe you've tried a newfangled hose and you're thinking, wow, this just doesn't give me the kind of volume, the kind of flow that I want, even when you're using one of those sprayers or you're pulling that trigger. This gives you everything that you need. I should turn that off before it gets
there's
too
not
high.
even a race going on here.
It's not close, but they look the same, so be careful.
Yes, let it knock
304
off.
stainless, the full volume that you want in a metal